So right now we're going to break down step by step exactly how to capitalize on this generational wealth building opportunity right now. This video is going to transform how you see stocks and options forever. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to take your income from your day job and go build your base portfolio. I know so many people that go in the investing world, they go start a Robinhood account, start a Charles Schwab account, whatever broker you want to go with, and the first thing they want to do is go to stock options. But you got to understand that stock options are not the main investment strategy to make money. Stock options are just a way to magnify something. Think about this. If you don't know if Apple stock, for example, is going to go up or down, you shouldn't buy the stock from the get go. But if you have no idea if it's going to go up or down, why would you want to magnify a move that you have no clue what it's actually going to do? You wouldn't do that. But that's where most retail investors go wrong. They go from income straight to the option category right here. But you have to stop at the base portfolio first. You guys know by watching all my videos on this channel in the past, I have roughly 40% in the S&P, 40% in the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ Triple Q and S&P VOO. And then roughly 10% in individual stocks and roughly 10% in LEAP call options. Now you can see right here, this part right here is going to fluctuate based on market conditions. At the time of recording this video, maybe the market's a little bit expensive. Maybe I want to be a little bit more conservative. Maybe I want to have less calls and maybe buy some bonds with that money to hedge my downside a little bit. But if I'm super bullish, maybe I'll have less money in the S&P and the NASDAQ, more in individual companies that are undervalued, and more in call options to capitalize on a very bullish move I think is going to come. So this right here is going to fluctuate based on market conditions. So at your day job, do whatever you could do to scale at your day job, pick up overtime, work more hours, get a higher paying skill, whatever you could do to make more money at your day job, take that money and funnel it to the base portfolio. Now, simply doing what I said in the first 2 minutes of this video right now, doing this right here is going to put you in the bucket that's going to outperform roughly 95% of all investors in the long term. All investors, cover callers, wheelers, cash secured putters, poor man cover callers, whatever strategy that people do, the vast majority of people do not even outperform the base portfolio allocation that I just talked about right here. Now, you're probably wondering for the base, like, what do I do with individual companies? You pick companies that are undervalued companies that have a moat, that have pricing power, that have a durable competitive advantage. So you want to pick companies like Apple or Nvidia or TSM or Meta or Google or Amazon. Companies like that have a proven track record of growing their profits in the long term. If you could scoop them up for a really good price, that is when I allocate them to the 10% bucket of my portfolio. Now, as for LEAP call options, you could probably guess you have to be ultra convictive to do anything with stock options in your portfolio. Because if you're not, you're just taking on this magnification for no reason. You have no conviction in what you're actually doing. Now, the huge problem with the base portfolio is that people are going to realize, like, okay, I bought the S&P, I bought the NASDAQ, I have some individual companies that I like, and I have a couple LEAP call options that make sense to do too. But after you do that allocation, it's like, now what? Where's the trades at? What do I do? And most retail investors just correlate this thing where it's like, I work harder at my day job, I work harder in my life, I make more money. You trade more time, you make more money. But in the stock market, you got to buy good companies at good prices, and then you have to wait. The money made in the stock market is not in the buying or the selling. It's, of course, getting it at a good price and a good company, but it's largely about waiting, letting the earnings per share grow. The company's going to follow the earnings per share, the profits going higher. Also, getting in below intrinsic value. When you buy in at a good price, the stock is going to rebound to where it should actually be trading at, fundamentally speaking. So you have that double bullish tailwind behind you, but it's a lot about waiting. And I understand that most retail investors just simply can't sit on their hands and they can't wait. But it's proven, it's a fact. Go look it up in your account right now. Did you beat the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ in the last 5 years? I'm really willing to bet that you did not do that. I can almost guarantee most people did not. If you show it in the last 3 years since the bottom of 2022, of course, everyone's a genius in a bull market, but we have to check out our ROIs going through a bull market and a bear market, the good times and the bad times. Most people, 95% plus of people, are not going to beat this right here. Investing is a lot about waiting. It's a lot about being patient. It's a lot about capitalizing when opportunities come. But opportunities aren't going to come every single day. So when they do come, we capitalize, and we capitalize very hard. But we are not doing the wheel, making trades every single week, doing cover calls, doing cash puts, doing these garbage strategies right here. These strategies are not going to work in the long term. Your cash flow is a trap. You're sacrificing growth for cash flow, but your total return of doing these things right here, you are not going to beat this brainless, safe, portfolio allocation right here. Yes, you're going to experience a little bit of volatility in the short term. We always experience volatility in the short term. But hey, you're going to experience that with this allocation right here too. But you know that this right here is going to beat 95% of people in the long term. Okay, so now let's go into step 3, which is options. The big bad options, everybody loves it. Everyone wants to just go start with stock options, but you have to do the base portfolio first. But now we're here at options, so let's talk about it. So we talked about roughly 10% call options in your base portfolio up here. The reason why 10% call options is a very good number, in my opinion, is because when you buy options, options have an expiration date. Like if you buy a call option, you have this thing called theta going against you every single day. So even if we do a 1 or even a 2-year leap call option, what happens if the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, what happens if they fall in that time frame? Maybe you're super bullish on Nvidia, for example, but what if the overall market falls just because? It's likely to drag your Nvidia call options down with you, so you have to be very precise on your directionality and your timing at the same time. So you never want to have too much of your account on something that could expire worthless. Options can expire worthless when you buy them. And that kind of rolls us right into step 3 with options, specifically bullish stock option strategies. So buying leap call options or selling portfolio secured puts. Remember, not cash secured puts, because cash secured puts are terrible. You want to do portfolio secured puts, because if you are bullish, why do you want to have all that cash sitting right here doing absolutely nothing? You don't want to do that. You want to do portfolio secured puts, and if you build your base portfolio, you can do portfolio secured puts because you have your shares of the S&P, the Nasdaq, and individual companies used as collateral to then go sell portfolio secured puts. So you don't have the cash drag that most people have right here. So when you're bullish, when you want to do options, when you want to really magnify something that you're ultra convictive of, the stock or ETF must be undervalued, moat, pricing power, durable, competitive advantage, and a 1-year duration minimum on that option contract. Because if we go look at this chart right here, we've talked about it so many times, but this line right here corresponds to the earnings per share going up and to the right. The more time that you give a company to grow their profits and go up and to the right, the more likely the stock is going to follow that. You could see the stock market right here in a 5-year chart. It's up and to the right. It's a little bit above, a little bit below, a little bit above, a little bit below. But in the long term, the market's going to follow where the corporate profits are at. So if you buy in below intrinsic value right here and you give it 1 or 2 years, it's extremely likely that you're going to make money. It's almost like 100% correlation that stocks are going to follow where the profits go in the long term. Now, our job is to try to find things where, retail investors and the market is mispricing things. So this is mispriced right here. This is mispriced right here. You want to allocate bullishly right here. And right now in the market, and honestly, always in the market, there's going to be companies that are beat up and drop below the fundamentals where there's a lot of opportunity to allocate. When you see a good company with a moat, with pricing power, where the profits are going up and to the right, but you see the stock going down and to the right, there's a big disconnect right there. And it could be a huge opportunity to capitalize on. Like right now at the time of recording this video, take a look at software stocks. Take a look at ServiceNow, Adobe, Salesforce. A lot of those companies are getting clobbered right now because everyone thinks that AI is going to wipe them out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but there's a very big disconnect right now, and you're either going to see the stock prices rebound very sharply, or the profits are going to come down because the market is correct to price those stocks down a little bit. I think it's blown out of proportion. I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but let's keep going right here because you have to know how to implement this entire strategy in your portfolio right now so that we could capitalize on opportunities like that, and there's always going to be new opportunities coming in the future too. Let's keep going. And of course, you want to do it with a 1, if not 2-year duration on your option contracts to actually give your thesis time to play out. So we do that. We sell the portfolio secured put. We take the cash flow and we buy calls. We take the cash flow and we buy shares of companies that we feel like are undervalued. And if we're selling puts, let's just say we're selling puts on Nvidia right now and we're super bullish. Why would I not want to go take the cash flow and go reinvest some of that into Nvidia calls and take some of the cash flow and go reinvest it into Nvidia shares? Now, how I divvy up my allocation with the cash flow that I get from selling options, it depends on my conviction level. Like if I am ultra convictive of something, maybe let's say I collect $20,000 in cash flow when I sell the put. Maybe I'll take $10,000 and buy calls and $10,000 to go buy shares. Because remember, buying call options is more risky and it's harder to do because you have an expiration date and you have theta going against you every single day. The time value is going against you. But when you buy shares, you have no theta, you have no time value going against you. You could hold those shares forever. So the name of the game and the goal is to make money with options and funnel those option profits to the base portfolio. to get a higher quantity of shares in your account. This right here is the main strategy. This is where you compound. This is where you see that exponential growth curve, the base portfolio. But most people, when they do options, they do a cash secured put. They put $20,000 in cash, collect $1,000 in cash flow, make their tiny little ROI. And yes, you're stacking cash and it feels like you're doing something productive, but you are not capitalizing on compound growth in the long term. We all know that Warren Buffett, his net worth going into the hundreds of billions of dollars, that only happened recently. Because think about it, if you're compounding, say, 10% a year for simple numbers on $100,000, you made $10,000 that year. But if you're compounding 10% on $100 billion, that's $10 billion. So you could see that you need to keep your money invested and compounding for the long term. And when people do the garbage retail option strategies, you're not going to capitalize on that in the long term. So that is why it's critical to always have the base portfolio as the foundation. This is everything. Now, as you can see below, step 4, grow your portfolio. Take the premiums, the profits. You buy a call for 10K, you sell it for 20K, you made 10K profit. Take that profit, take the cash flow from the sold puts, and go allocate more to VOO. Go allocate more to Triple Q. Go allocate more to ultra high convicted companies, great companies at good prices that you want to hold for the long term. That is where the big money is at. Because when you think about stock options and more specifically selling puts, this needs to click for you right here. Let's say that you sell a put for 20K. This is honestly going to blow your mind when you listen to this. Say you sell a put for 20K. Collected 20K in cash flow in your account. Okay? You hold on to that sold put for just say 6 months. You buy it back for $5,000. You sold it for 20K. You bought it back for 5K. You made a profit of $15,000, just say. But when you sold the put, you're bullish, right? You want to magnify a bullish move. You want the stock price to go up. You think it's going to go up. So you sold the put. So when you sold the put and got the cash flow, smart investors, they take that money and they reinvest it. Let me just show you this on a chart. So they take that money and they reinvest it. Let's say you sold a put right here, you reinvest it, and then the share price goes up. You sold a put for 20K, you buy it back for 5K, you have, say $15,000 in profits right there. So the option contract is totally closed out. You bought it back for 5K. But look at what you're left with. You're left with individual stocks of what you sold the puts on. You sold the put, you get the cash flow, you close it out maybe 6 months later after the stock rebounds and the sold put contract is maybe 75% profit or something like that. So the option contract's closed out 100%. But then you're sitting here with these shares in your account that you didn't pay anything for. Those shares appreciated, so they're probably worth more than 15, and you could hold on to those shares theoretically forever. So your theoretical ROI by doing the one sold put, the portfolio secured put trade, is theoretically infinity, because you could hold those shares forever and your theoretical cost basis is zero. And when you're doing the portfolio secured put, securing it with your base portfolio right here, you're paying nothing in margin interest. Like, in what world can you go borrow money for free? As long as you keep your ratios in check, as long as you could survive a 50% crash and capitalize, you're going to be just fine with this strategy in the long term. I've done it through COVID. I've done it through 2022. I've done it through Liberation Day tariffs. I've done it through the Japan carry trade. I've done it through many crisis events, and I sleep well at night in the volatility. I don't care, because when you understand that the market in the short term, like, look at this chart. There's so much bouncing around, so much volatility. Like, no one has a clue what the market's going to do in the short term. So when you understand that and you allocate your portfolio in 1 and 2 year durations plus, you're not going to stress about this stuff. You're just going to see this is opportunity, and maybe you'll be a little bit more cautious up here. That's all it is. That is the name of the game in the stock market. You follow this very simple thing right here, you're going to do very, very well in the long term. You're going to beat 95% of people in the long term. You're going to smoke the Robin Hooders that want to make trades every single day. Again, I'm here to make money. I don't know about you. I'm not here to make trades or entertain people or have fun, I guess. Like, of course I want to have fun, but it's like, I'm ultimately here to make money. And this strategy right here, it does beat the market in the long term. And I've been doing it for a decade. And there's thousands of people that went through my training that did this strategy too. It works for them. They're mind blown. Go read my reviews. There's hundreds of 5-star reviews of people that are just like, why did I not do this sooner? So if you want to learn more about it, click the link in the video description, 10-day stocks and options transformation. If not, all good. Watch this video right here. I'm going to walk you through a little bit more step by step, and I'll see you guys there.